What if I told you that you cannot feel crippling fear and genuine gratitude at the exact same time? One of these emotions is designed to hijack your brain, flood your body with stress, and trap you in a cycle of worry. The other is a neurological switch that can instantly turn fear's volume down. This isn't a motivational platitude. It's a statement about a battle happening inside your brain's wiring right now. Ancient masters whispered about this power for centuries, and modern neuroscience is finally proving it's real. Fear and gratitude are competing forces. Where one expands, the other must recede. So if you've ever laid awake at night as your mind raced with worst-case scenarios, or felt the cold grip of anxiety steal the joy from a beautiful moment, then learning to control this switch is the most important skill you can master. In this video, we will journey deep into the mind to understand how fear truly works. We will uncover the ancient spiritual teachings that have guided generations out of anxiety, and see how modern science is now unlocking the secrets behind these timeless practices. Most importantly, by the end of this, you will hold a simple, science-backed method to put this principle to work for you. You will learn how to actively choose gratitude, not as a way to deny your problems, but as a strategic weapon to reclaim your peace, quiet the noise, and take back control of your inner world starting today. Let's start with something we all know, fear. In its raw form, fear is a survival tool. It's the alarm system our ancestors developed to stay alive. When a saber-toothed tiger showed up, the amygdala, the brain's threat detector, would sound the alarm. It would flood the body with cortisol and adrenaline, preparing it to either fight or run. This response is brilliant. It's why you're here. But here's the catch, that ancient wiring is still running on your modern brain, and it no longer just responds to saber-toothed tigers. It responds to a stressful email, a critical comment on social media, a looming deadline, or a scary news headline. Your amygdala doesn't know the difference between a predator in the bushes and a terrifying thought in your head. The physical reaction is shockingly similar. Your heart pounds, your breathing gets shallow, and your mind narrows its focus to one thing, the threat. This gets worse because of another feature, the negativity bias. Your brain isn't designed to make you happy, it's designed to keep you alive. To do that, it acts like Velcro for bad experiences and Teflon for good ones. Think about it. Our ancestors who spent their time admiring a sunset instead of scanning the horizon for predators were less likely to pass on their genes. Your brain is hardwired to look for, react to, and remember the negative. It's a survival strategy that, in our world, has become a recipe for chronic anxiety. This is the stranglehold of fear. When you're in its grip, it feels like the only reality. It hijacks the part of your brain responsible for logic and reason, your prefrontal cortex, and convinces you that the worst-case scenario is a sure thing. It robs you of your ability to think creatively, solve problems, or connect with people. It shrinks your world down to the size of your worries. Living like that isn't just exhausting, it's physically damaging. Chronic stress is linked to a host of health problems, from high blood pressure to a weaker immune system. Fear, left unchecked, doesn't just stop you from living a happy life, it stops you from truly living at all. So, if fear's the poison, what's the antidote? The answer isn't a magic pill, but a powerful counteragent, gratitude. This isn't a new idea. Philosophers and spiritual leaders have been teaching this for thousands of years. But now, we can actually watch it happen inside the brain. Let us start with timeless spiritual teachings, which offer a profound insight. The way to handle a tough emotion like fear isn't to fight it, but to acknowledge it with mindfulness. A wise master once compared a strong emotion to a storm. You wouldn't try to punch a hurricane. You'd find shelter, anchor yourself, and wait for it to pass. Our breath is our anchor. By focusing on the simple feeling of breathing, we pull our minds out of the chaos of the past and future and into the calm of right now. But the wisdom goes deeper. There is a saying, suffering persists because we nourish the feelings that cause it. Fear feeds on your attention. The more you obsess over what could go wrong, the stronger it gets. Gratitude, then, is the practice of intentionally turning your attention away from the sources of fear and toward the good that is already here. Even in the worst moments, you can be grateful for your breath, grateful that you're still alive. This isn't about pretending the darkness isn't there. It's about choosing to turn on a light. By consciously feeding feelings of gratitude, you starve your fear of the attention it needs to survive. Now, let's connect this to modern science. Researchers have found that gratitude is a trainable skill that physically rewires your brain. When you practice gratitude, it stimulates the part of the brain that regulates stress and triggers the release of dopamine and serotonin. Dopamine encourages you to seek the positive. Serotonin is a key mood regulator that helps reduce anxiety. Fear thrives in a brain flooded with cortisol.
Gratitude floods that same brain with dopamine and serotonin, fundamentally changing the chemical environment and weakening fear's hold.
Now, let's be very clear. This isn't a magic button that takes fear from 100 to 0 in a split second. The adrenaline might still be in your body. The physical echo of fear can linger. But gratitude does something far more important. It seizes control of your focus. Fear is still in the room, but it's no longer in the driver's seat. Neuroscience helps us understand that the brain can only focus on so much at once. When you actively search for things to be grateful for, that search uses the cognitive resources that were just fueling your worry. The worry loses its grip because the mental bandwidth is no longer available to feed it. Gratitude doesn't erase fear instantly, it outcompetes it for your attention. This principle is so powerful, it is sometimes called the ultimate pattern interrupt. When you feel fear creeping in, the fastest way to change your state is to force your mind to find something to appreciate. It's about taking back control so you can face challenges from a place of strength and clarity, not panic. Okay, understanding the principle is step 1. Applying it is where the change really happens. Gratitude is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Here's a practical 4-part toolkit to help you start building that muscle today. Technique 1, the first 5 morning ritual. How you start your morning sets the tone for your day. For most of us, the first thing we do is grab our phone. This immediately puts the brain on defense, flooding it with notifications and other people's demands, a perfect recipe for a cortisol spike. Instead, try this. Before your feet hit the floor, and definitely before you touch your phone, practice the first 5. Your one job is to name 5 specific, unique things you are genuinely grateful for. Don't be generic. I'm grateful for my family is nice, but it lacks neurological punch. Get detailed. Instead, say, I'm grateful for the way my partner made me laugh yesterday. Or, I'm grateful for the feeling of these warm blankets on a cool morning. Specificity is key because it forces your brain to move past autopilot and into active searching. You're making your prefrontal cortex engage and hunt for positive data, strengthening those neural pathways. Technique 2, the Fear Flip Emergency Tool. This is your in-the-moment fix for a wave of anxiety. Think of it as your emotional emergency brake. When you feel that wave of panic or worry building, that tightness in your chest, that racing heart, you're going to deploy the Fear Flip. It's a simple 3-step process. First, stop and acknowledge. Don't fight the feeling. Just say to yourself, okay, I am feeling fear right now. This non-judgmental observation helps you see the storm without becoming the storm. Second, breathe. Take one deep, deliberate belly breath. A slow 4-second inhale, a 4-second hold, and a 6-second exhale can activate your body's rest and digest system, physically pushing back against the fight or flight response. Third, flip. Immediately after you exhale, find 3 specific things in your immediate environment you can be grateful for. They don't have to be profound. I'm grateful for this chair holding me up. I'm grateful for the light coming through that window. I'm grateful for the silence in this room. You're using a conscious action to break a subconscious loop. You are wresting focus away from the panic. Even if the feeling lingers in your body, it no longer has control over your mind. Technique 3, the structured gratitude journal. While the first 2 tools are for in-the-moment relief, this one is for long-term rewiring. Study after study shows that consistent gratitude journaling has massive benefits for well-being. To get the most out of it, use a structured approach. Once a week, take 15 minutes and divide a page into 2 sections. In the first section, list 5 specific things you're grateful for from the past week. Again, specificity is your friend. Instead of my job, write, I'm grateful I finished that tough project at work that really challenged me. In the second section, write a short gratitude letter or email that you will actually send. Think of one person who helped you or inspired you recently.
Write a few sentences explaining exactly what they did and why you're thankful.
Research shows that expressing gratitude to others makes its effects even more powerful. Technique 4, the authenticity check and contemplation. For gratitude to work, it has to be real. A word of caution, it should never feel like a chore or like you are being untruthful with yourself. So, as you practice, do a quick authenticity check. Ask yourself, am I just going through the motions, or do I truly feel grateful for this? This keeps the practice genuine. Finally, work in a practice of grateful contemplation. This is just an informal, internal practice. Use it in those little in-between moments, waiting in line, walking to your car, or just before you fall asleep. Instead of letting your mind drift to worry, consciously bring to mind a few things you're thankful for. It's like mental maintenance, steering your thoughts toward the good and making a grateful mindset your new normal. So, we come back to a powerful truth. While you might feel echoes of both fear and gratitude, they are competing for the same space in your head. And you get to decide which one you empower. Fear lives in the shadows of what if. Gratitude lives in the reality of what is. It pulls your awareness back to the here and now, anchoring you to the good that already exists in your life. The tools we talked about, the first 5, the fear flip, the journal, they are a workout for your brain. Practicing them won't mean you'll never feel fear again. Fear is a part of being human. But it does mean fear's volume gets turned down. It means fear is no longer in charge. You'll have a choice. You'll have a tool. You'll have a lever of control. Gratitude isn't about ignoring the darkness. It's about choosing to turn on the light. To put this into practice right now, I have a simple request. What is one specific thing right now, in this moment, that you are grateful for? Share it in the comments below. Let's get a wave of gratitude going and inspire each other. And if this idea clicked for you, and you're ready to learn more about the science of building a better life, please subscribe and turn on notifications. The journey is just getting started.